Welcome to the COVID Chronicles. This is episode 95, 96.
Feels like 596.
It's been 6 months, I guess, since this started.
It's been 6 months since my last confession.
What I am thinking about today, again, is how it is that we, the people of Ontario, anyway.
We the people?
We, the people of Ontario, got stuck in a situation that we are not actually in, but many parents are. It's like, you're either going to send your kids back to school or you're going to keep them home. Let us know what you're going to do. Like how much ineptness? Or is it just, we don't believe this is happening. We don't believe this is going to be still an issue. This is not going to be a problem, so we don't have to do anything. But they had 6 months to plan and prepare for how they're going to handle teaching kids.
Social distance.
Not necessarily in a school, but they maybe could have them in a school. They could have had all kinds of things done if they'd planned and began to implement the plan. You could have had kids above a certain age go back to school and have been in their own little isolation spots. You could have come up with a way to do that. And maybe how you would have done that was you would have planned for a bunch of other kids to not be at school because they were too young to obey direction, and you couldn't expect compliance.
Yeah.
And thus there'd be more space in the school for the kids who were there. Ooh. And then you say, now those of you who've got kids below this age, the government's going to supply, let us know if you're a person who normally would be at work and you have to stay home and take care of these kids and make them watch TV and make them learn on TV or whatever. And we will accommodate that as follows.
We'll give you so much money so you can stay home.
Maybe, or maybe we'll give you so much money for a nanny to come over and watch them or something. But to end up with everybody being asked, well, are you going to send your kid to school or keep them at home, as opposed to having a government plan of action that didn't force people to go, well, the school system has been my personal daycare now for this many years, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to send them to the daycare school thing, because for some people that's what school is. It's basically daycare.
I take offense to that. If I'm working and I have to work because I know you don't you don't agree with all that. Let's say I have to work. I'm a single mother, I have to work.
Yeah.
My kids go to school. Does that mean I'm using it as a daycare? I don't understand.
You inherently are if you send them to a disease-infested location.
Rather than keeping them home. And what if I have to work?
You don't know. No parent, I think a lot of parents are probably in, well, I hope it all works out well, because they don't even know what the school is doing.
Yeah.
And and anything I've heard about what schools are doing is I don't buy that. My kid wouldn't be going to school. That's it. If I had a kid that was school age and I had a job and you had a job, I would have sat down and said, well, one of us isn't going to work.
Yeah, that's hard. It's so hard. What kind of ventilation are they putting in the schools?
Yeah. To me, it's the year 2020. Bad shit's happening. And we aren't using the year 2020 mentality to manage the bad shit. We're still in 1800s mentality. We'll do a little bit so it's politically palatable, but we're not actually no, we're not going to solve the problem. To me, it's just ridiculous, or as some people say, redonkulous. We're sending kids back to school, and we're sending teachers back to school.
Custodians.
In an environment, whoever else. And we're basically saying, well, we got our fingers crossed for you.
Somebody told me they're treating the kids in the same class as a social circle.
Right.
But we can't have a social circle bigger than 10.
Except that the kids in the class that are part of that social circle, assuming they are now connected to a whole bunch of other social circles.
Oh, yeah.
So unless you lock them in the school and say you can't go home, they're not in a social circle of just their classmates.
Hey, maybe could do that for a year.
I mean, put the teacher in the front of the class behind a barrier. Teacher can come and go, but the kids all stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. That could be one way to go. Make the schools into boarding schools.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a chipmunk on my arm. He's never been this brave before.
Hey, look at this.
Oh no, this is the friendly one. One that Charlotte likes. Cold feet.
Cold feet. Anyway, what do you guys think? Anybody going to be brave enough to say what they think? I know I saw this, don't shame parents who send their kids to school. Don't shame parents to keep their kids home or whatever the hell it was. But it's like, I'm shaming the government. I'm shaming the people who
should have had it all figured out.
Yeah, who should have figured out something really medically
fast, right away,
medically sensible or practical or whatever the right phrase would be, as opposed to just like, well, we're gonna let you keep them at home if you want, and we'll do our best, kind of, sort of, at school if you send them to school. Like, that's just not. It's not a plan. That's like, let's just see what happens. I got a chipmunk on my lap.
Yep.
Anyway, that's what I think. It could have been handled so much better if somebody looked at it even 3 months ago and said, this is a serious issue. We need to plan a really serious solution because we think there's a possibility that this could be a ongoing problem that goes beyond August.
But you know what? They already were telling us that. The second wave will come in November with the flu as well as COVID-19.
Yeah.
So they already knew.
But the whoever's in charge of schools doesn't seem to have interacted like they know. Now, what I would like to know is what's going on in private schools.
Where there's more money.
Yeah, I think the private schools, I've only talked to a couple of people who've got kids in private schools, and their kids aren't going back to school. So, there you have it.
In a nutshell, that's the end of our episode for today.
Yep, got to go deal with Chipmunk. Oh, he's back.
He's back.
He's back. Bye.